If you're not having one-on-ones, you're not being an effective manager. This is the one meeting that should not be an email. It's the one meeting that is not a complete waste of your time. Hi, my name is Lian Mubangizi. I am a leadership coach. I am also a leader in healthcare, leading a team of over 120 healthcare workers. In this video, we will talk about why one-on-ones matter, the best practices for in-person and remote one-on-ones, and coaching questions you can ask to develop your people. I've also prepared a free guide, so please download your free guide. Why do one-on-ones matter? One-on-ones matter because people want to feel valued, they want to feel seen, and they want to feel connected, even in the workplace. People don't want to feel like just another cog in the wheel, or they're just coming to grind away and they're just like an employee number. Even though a lot of workplaces do feel like that, one-on-ones can help make people feel more engaged. It's the best way to understand your people. It's the best way to uncover roadblocks or help them problem solve and also align on different priorities. One-on-ones also create space for feedback. They create space for connection. They also create space for career development. This is where you can really develop a personalized career development plan for your direct report and help them become better, help them get better positions, and help them grow professionally. One-on-ones also boost engagement, they boost retention, and they also boost team culture. Your success as a manager or as a leader depends on your direct reports, and so it is important that you actually focus on them and focus on getting to know them and supporting them. Now, let's start with the mindset for one-on-ones. So the purpose of one-on-ones is not for you to micromanage people, it's for you to support them. These meetings should be about building trust. They should be about celebrating wins, encouraging growth, and strengthening engagement in your team. These meetings are not about monitoring people's work. So you need to shift from monitoring people's work to supporting people as whole human beings. People need to feel connected in order to do meaningful work. So what are the best practices? The number one best practice is to schedule in advance. Add one-on-ones to your calendar so you can ensure that it is consistent. You need to choose times when you both have energy and can focus. I try to have my one-on-ones in the morning wherever possible so that I can have the most energy and I'm the most engaged. Scheduled meetings help show your staff that you actually care about them, that they actually matter to you. And then they also help them prepare in advance for these one-on-ones so that they know what they need to bring to the one-on-one so they can have more meaningful conversations. And I would avoid any cancellations unless you really have to. Now, realistically, sometimes the emergencies will come up. I work in a healthcare environment. There's emergencies all the time. So sometimes I do have to cancel, but try to protect that time. Let your boss know that that's a protected time so that you can show your employees that they matter and you can ensure that you're consistently having them. The second best practice is to hold at least 30 minutes of one-on-ones weekly or bi-weekly. I actually got this from this book called The Effective Manager. It's by Mark Horstman, Kate Braun, and Sarah Sentes. And this is a great book. I think it's a good start when you're starting as a manager. From the research that they had done over more than 10 years, weekly one-on-ones are ideal because most organizations work in weekly cycles. These work best when you only have less than 10 direct reports. Some people have like 30 direct reports, which is not ideal at all. If you can't have weekly, try bi-weekly, even monthly, but at least have the one-on-ones. What I found that when you have larger teams where you have too many people reporting to you, having drop-in hours for me has helped, where I'll have an hour at the end of some days of the week. That ensures that they know that I am leaving time for them. The third best practice is to co-create the agenda. Encourage your teams to create their own agenda, to bring their issues forward and focus on their agenda first as priority. This will help prevent turning one-on-ones into status updates. You can get status updates through different ways. You can get them through email, you can get them through dashboards, you can get them at other times. It doesn't have to be through the one-on-ones. What I do roughly is, give 10 minutes to their agenda, 10 minutes to my agenda, and then we can talk about bigger picture things or where we're trying to head. A lot of times what ends up happening is that we only talk about their agenda if there's some serious things going on, if they need a lot of support, and that is fine. Be flexible for that. Unless you have something that you have to address, then be okay with your items being missed for that meeting, and you can catch up with your direct report later, or you can email them, or you can extend a little bit of time, but give them the time to actually finish what they need to talk about. One of the other things that I also am cognizant of is trying to adapt to the different styles of communication. I find that some of them want that connection. They want to have more personal conversations. They are more relational. And then I find that some are more technical. They just want to go straight to the point of what they need from me. Trust takes time to build. And some people, their style is not relational, and that is completely fine. So don't force it, adapt to their style. The fourth best practice is to listen with empathy and use coaching questions. So when you're having your one-on-ones, remove all distractions. I find that even having the phone on the table or somewhere where you can see it is distracting. Sometimes I'll have my phone there and maybe my notifications are off, but the screen will light up with an email or a Teams message, and my direct report will be like, do you want to take that? That already removes the focus from them. So I try to put it away or flip it so that they're not seeing notifications as they come up. Pay attention in these meetings, pay attention to meaning, to feelings, to body language. I noticed in one of my one-on-ones, just by body language and how the person was speaking, that they needed some rest, they were burnt out. And it only takes you asking questions, giving them the opportunity to express themselves and really caring about them to get to the point where they can actually express to you what they're really going through. Some of the things that may be personal that you're not able to solve, but even just being able to listen to people helps, because our personal lives do affect our work life. Confirm understandings. When you hear something, when they say something, saying, so what I'm hearing is, or summarizing what you talked about, or asking, is that right? If you're making an assumption about something, say, I'm assuming this and this is happening. Is that correct? It's also been very useful to use open-ended coaching questions in order to help my team members build confidence in themselves, problem solve, but also build ownership over their own work. Now, in the guide, I have a list of different coaching questions. So I'll go through a couple of them. If you want to start the meeting, you can start with asking, how are you feeling about your role? Which areas would you like more feedback on? What's something you've done recently that you wish someone noticed? When it comes to problem solving, you can ask, what's your number one problem or challenge right now? What have you tried so far? So you can identify what they have tried or the different solutions. Or if they haven't tried anything, they can think through what solutions they can try. And then you can also ask them, what would you advise someone in a similar situation? So in the guide, I include different coaching questions that you can ask for different situations. And I find that these are so useful. You don't have to bear all the weight of solving problems for everybody and micromanaging them, and let them figure it out. And this is why one-on-ones are so useful, because you get to develop your people. And that actually reduces the amount of work that you have to do, but also increases their own confidence. It increases their output. It increases their performance and even engagement in their own work. Another best practice is to prepare in advance. So review your previous minutes, which means that you need to be taking notes. I like taking notes on my computer, but during one-on-ones, I've stopped taking notes on computer and actually writing on paper, because I realized that there's more connection when there's no screen. There's more connection when I'm writing it down. And I think also taking notes also shows you that you care. Check on past commitments or goals. In each meeting, you will likely come up with action items or next steps. So check if those have been done. Check if you have any questions about those, or if you could check on them in a different way, not just in the one-on-ones. Reflect on feedback or updates that you want to share or you want to ask for. Add your points to the agenda, but leave room for theirs. And set the intention of how you want to show up for these one-on-ones. Do you want to show up more supportive, more curious, more present? I am naturally an extrovert. I like fast-paced things. I talk a lot. One of the things I always have to set intention is listen more, ask questions. I always have to tell myself before I get into a one-on-one, because I can easily just talk and then have them listen to me, and then I haven't given them the time. Understand where you could show up better and set that intention before the meeting starts. Now, what are the best practices for remote one-on-ones? It's true that remote employees often feel very disconnected. And so managers must really be intentional about creating moments for connection. With remote staff, I would have more frequent touch points to compensate for the lack of daily interaction. So use video for richer communication and build better rapport. If possible, if you're working in the same city, maybe you have your one-on-ones in person instead of having them remotely. But if they're remotely, sometimes you can also break them apart. So if you're having a 30-minute one-on-one or even an hour one-on-one, you can break it apart to different days in the week. So you're having maybe 2 check-ins in the week instead of just the one. And then also add additional times for interaction. So you can add virtual drop-ins, you can have coffee chats, lunch and learns, to just ensure that employees are having more times to engage with you, but engage with other team members. It's very easy to be lazy about this and take for granted how much communication and connection really helps people do better work. So I would really, really be intentional, especially for remote teams, to actually really create a space where people can engage with you, where you can have one-on-ones, maybe even have longer one-on-ones instead of the 30 minutes, have an hour and be there and be present. And with remote teams, seek to build community instead of just completing tasks. One of the advantages of working in offices is that people form natural friendships, they form natural bonds, they can talk to people, they can drop into people's offices or even your office, and that's not really there for remote employees. So try to find ways in which your teams can connect. That will help keep people more engaged, not necessarily to force people to feel like family, but to have more opportunities for engagement if people wish to. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to grab your free guide to effective one-on-ones and comment, like, subscribe. Let me know how your one-on-ones are going, or if there's anything that you're finding is a challenge in having one-on-ones, and I can help you work through it. Until next time, bye-bye.